Been hearing everybody talk about masters, 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 masters. I own my masters. They stole my masters. I lost my masters. Masters, masters, masters. What are masters and what do they really mean? How do you obtain them? Do you own them from the jump? Why would you sell them? And how do you get them back? Oh yeah, and most of all, how do you lose them? All coming up here in a bit, man. But before that, y'all know we gotta roll that intro. Wait, wait, wait. Wait, 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 wait. Welcome back, everybody. Once again, here we are at the Irie place. This is episode 3. Today, we will be discussing music masters, okay? So, what are music masters to start with? Music masters are basically the final and complete master track, okay? When you go in the studio with the engineer and you record everything you've written, produced, and you get all your vocal layers, your arrangements, the music and everything, you compress it down to one file. It's considered to be a master track, okay? Back in the day, they had tapes. They had, of course, physical CDs and everything, but in modern day, it's an MP3 or a WAV file. That's what a master track is, okay? So that's considered to be the physical. Even though MP3s are intangible, the modern day version of a physical master is an MP3 or a WAV file, okay? Or a session file, Pro Tools session file in most cases, or just the individual track outs, okay? Now, let's talk about the two parts of a master. Now, we just discussed the physical side, okay? Now, let's talk about the legal aspect, okay? Now, on the USCopyright.gov website is a form called Form SR, and that's for sound recordings. This is to copyright and register sound recordings, okay? Now, whoever owns that copyright has the ability to license the track, decide the fee to license the track, and all the above, okay? Now, it's very important that you register the paperwork correctly, first and foremost, and it's very important that, you know, everyone involved with the record, the splits and everything like that have already been, you know, agreed upon and everything before you register the sound recording and you copyright the track, because once you copyright it, it's copywritten, plain and simple, it's copywritten, okay? So master tracks, they typically deal with mechanical royalties and, you know, performance royalties, okay? Now, mechanical royalties are pretty much, you know, anything being pressed up, you know, CDs, modern day would be iTunes, even though they're doing away with iTunes pretty soon. You know, streaming records, streaming sites, the files on streaming sites, and, you know, just pretty much anything pressed up by a machine would be a mechanical royalty, okay? So performance royalties, of course, that deals with publishing too, but sometimes in some cases it deals with mechanical royalties as well, okay? So once again, like I said before, the person that owns the master, meaning the person that owns Form SR, and the person that owns, you know, the individual files and the MP3 file, they will decide who gets to license the track, what the fee is, what they would have to be paid in order for you to license the track. If somebody wants to sample your song in a beat, if somebody wants to use your song in a movie, or they want to use your song period in a commercial or anything, they would be the person to decide, okay? Because they own the actual master. All right. So I hope I explained that. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe below, and feel free to give any input. But let's get into some different ways that you can lose your masters. Now, there are a few ways. There are a few common ways, and there are a few ways that rarely happen. But I'm gonna get into all of them real quick. Okay. The first one being a work for hire agreement. Okay. So, whenever you fill out a work for hire agreement, basically what you're doing is you're agreeing to do some work for somebody in exchange for an upfront fee, okay? Now, many labels, many companies in general will pay you for your services and try to slide you a work for hire agreement. Okay? Now, because you may not know the terminology in the paperwork and you may not have a lawyer, or you just may need that money really bad, you may just sign that work for hire agreement, take the fee, not realizing that you're signing away your masters, you're signing away your rights to anything on the back end of the work you just did. Okay, so there's no royalties typically for a work for hire agreement. That's services in exchange for a fee. That's simply what that means. Okay, now this is typical for musicians. Like if I was to have somebody come in and I just needed them to play bass guitar over a track, then I would, have them fill out a work for hire agreement. If I just needed somebody to come in and sing some vocals over a track, and they didn't write anything, and maybe they didn't do anything else, there may be a work for hire agreement coming with that. But typically, if you wrote lyrics to a song, if you produced the beat and things like that, you're entitled to royalties. You're entitled to a piece of your master. Okay, so you don't want to sign away any of that in a work for hire agreement. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the next one. The next one would be, of course, this is common, a record deal. Okay, now when you sign a record deal, you signing away your masters. Okay, they're not just handing you a check just because they like you and your stuff sound good. Like, no, they're handing you a check because they understand how they can make money off of it. They're purchasing your catalog, they're purchasing your masters, they're purchasing the rights to your music in exchange for the advance, whether it be 10K, 5,000, 5 million, 500,000, 5 trillion, whatever the number may be, they're purchasing your masters. Okay, so in today's record deals, it's usually like 360s. Okay, 360 type deals where they take a percentage of all your revenue. Okay, so the going rate is somewhere around 50 to 80% of your masters is what they would take. Now, of course, everybody's situation is different. Nobody's, there's no one deal worldwide for every situation, but typically 50 to 80% of your masters is what most companies would be willing to purchase, or 100%, which leads me to my next point about 360 deals. With 360 deals in modern day, record labels, they're kind of signing acts and throwing them to the crowd and throwing them up against the wall to see who sticks. So with that being said, they're usually signing for all of your masters and a percentage of all your other income. So that means that not only are they trying to get all of your masters, 100% of your masters, but they're trying to get a percentage of your show money, your merchandise, endorsement, whatever else. Now, everybody's situation is different. Once again, I have to say that again, because I don't want people to leave this video feeling like, oh man, I don't need to sign a record deal because they want everything and they're gonna take all my masters. No, it should be understood that when you take an advance from a label, that they're getting your masters in exchange. Okay. Now, here's where it gets, you get a chance to kind of get out of this one day. When you sign with a label, there needs to be some sort of a buyback clause. Meaning at some point, whether it be 10 years, 5 years, 20 years from now, you will have an opportunity for a certain amount of money to buy your masters back. This is what you see people like Michael Jackson, Jay-Z, Prince. This is what they all did. They bought their masters back, meaning they bought back the rights to their master track for a fee. Okay? After X number of dollars was made, X number of albums were sold, whatever the agreement was, they bought their masters back. Okay? So these people all own 100% of their masters. Now, I don't know which albums, I don't know which songs, but they are reported to own their masters in modern day. Okay, so let's get to the next one. Publishing and production deals. Okay, now with production deals, it's kind of sticky, because if you're working with a producer and the producer's producing everything and you did not pay them on a work for hire basis, then they're entitled to a percentage of the master and a percentage of the publishing. However, in some cases, producers, managers, and stuff like this, they can take all the master track, depending on how the situation was structured. Okay, I will make a video getting more in depth with production deals, but with publishing, typically they don't touch the master track, but there have been some cases with record deals who have their own publishing companies. When you sign with them, they do try to have you sign with their publishing companies as well, so they can affect your masters along with your publishing. But that's just another way. And the last and final way a lot of people lose their masters is through not spending any money. So what do you mean, D Mason? Well, what I mean is, okay, if you're stealing beats off YouTube, you're not paying your engineer, um, you're not copyrighting your work on uscopyright.gov, you don't have an SR form to show for any of your work, and you're just only leasing beats. You never purchase an exclusive license to any of the beats that you use. You're not going to have your masters. You don't own them as we speak. If you're in this situation as we speak, you don't own your masters. Okay? When you sign with somebody and when you release a track, you need to have an SR form. You need to have an exclusive license from their producer if you did not make the beat. Okay? You don't own the masters to the song if you don't own the masters to the beat, meaning you don't have the individual files. You don't have an exclusive license from him for whatever fee it was or whatever y'all's agreement was. If the producer did not give you an exclusive license saying, I no longer own the rights to this song and this track, this person does now, then you do not own the masters to that song. Okay? So make sure that you are getting the masters to the beats. You're purchasing exclusive rights to the beats. Make sure that when y'all get these beats off YouTube and you download these beats, those beats are meant for you to demo and write songs to them, and maybe even record a demo, but it's not meant for you to release it until you have exclusive rights. Okay, now you can purchase leases. Leases give you the ability and a license to release the song, just to see, if it's gonna be hot, if it's worth it or not. But once you see that the song is moving, once you see that the song is making any form of noise, you need to purchase exclusive rights to that beat, because it gives you the ability to maintain your masters. Okay? All right, so that's pretty much it when it comes to ways to lose the masters. Now I'm gonna talk about a few ways to keep your masters, and then we're gonna move on. All right, so the last and final thing I want to talk about is, are pretty much ways to keep your masters and make sure that you always have them. Okay, the first way being to just simply stay independent. Okay, if you never sign a deal, if you never sign anything, then your masters are never at jeopardy. Okay, the next one being, don't sell your ownership, for no reason at all. Don't sell it. Now, this is a luxury that a lot of people will never actually be able to have, because they don't have the capital, they don't have the resources, the time, the skill set, the mindset, or just the team to be able to maintain everything. Okay, so I'm not saying that this is a bad, signing away your masters is not a bad thing, but these are just simply ways to maintain them at all times. Okay, like I said before, if you were to sign a deal, it needs to be some sort of a buyback clause. There needs to be some sort of a buyback clause in the contract. Okay, so that at some point you can get those masters back. Okay, now also the next one would be paying for your own stuff. Simply pay for your services, pay for things up front. Okay, now I know in this industry, once again, that's not a common thing to be able to just pull out the check and lay it on the table in all situations and scenarios, but that is a way to maintain your masters at all times. Just pay for everything. Okay. The next one would be to buy exclusive beats only. Okay. Now, online, we all know how that situation works. Every producer, for the most part, has a similar, template for leasing and contracting beats. Okay, so it's, we know the same old sad song, but there are probably many producers that you can meet in person in your local area that are selling beats, that are willing to, split rights with you, split masters, split publishing with you, or just straight up, make beats for you for just an upfront fee, one of the three, but, there needs to be some sort of an understanding when you pay this person, okay? Is this, am I purchasing this beat exclusively? Am I just purchasing this beat, for an upfront fee? And are we splitting rights? What's going on here? What's going on? There needs to be a clear-cut understanding, okay? And the last one would be, to seek alternative deals. Instead of record deals, try to go for something like marketing deals, distribution deals. Okay, these don't typically take a percentage of your master. Okay, in some cases they may. I know services like TuneCore at one point they were taking small percentages of the sales and the revenue and everything. But even if you were to take them songs off TuneCore today, they wouldn't still be taking a percentage of your master. They only take a percentage of what they help you get. So with distribution deals, they vary, but typically your masters aren't in jeopardy. They aren't in jeopardy at all. So I hope this was helpful, man. This video got to be a little bit longer than I thought it would, but definitely go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments if y'all have any more questions and how you feel about masters. Now that you know about them, now that you know how to lose them and keep them and maintain them, how do you feel about them? But definitely, man, thanks for tuning in. Steve Mason at the Irie place. Y'all already know what it is, man. Until next time, I'll let your boy.